June 1st officially makes 1 month since I left my job with nothing lined up, and here's what no one's gonna tell you. First of all, my experience, it looked different. Looked way different than I expected. I get it. When we become self-employed or we open up businesses and try to do things on our own to get away from that 9 to 5 lifestyle, like that's the whole point of this all, right? Not having to necessarily listen to anybody, kind of have your own thing for you, right? Here's what my expectations versus reality were. Expectations, right? I have my own business. I'm working for myself. I don't have a boss overhead of me. I am that person, okay? I have the occasional manager or two, but that's different. So, normally, working office jobs or corporate jobs, you have a to-do list, right? You come in, you get settled in, you start doing the shit you gotta do. Then you go to lunch, come back, answer some more emails, knock out the rest of the stuff until like 5 o'clock when it's time for you to go home, right? Perfect. Well, here's the thing. When owning a business and working from home, it's almost like I expected that structure, but knew that's not what I wanted, right? Like I knew I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, but I almost still expected that structure in a way. Like, I don't know. So here's what I was expecting, right? I had written out a schedule for myself, pretty much like hour by hour. Like, here's creative block number 1, creative block number 2, creative block number 3. And in between there, I'd have lunch, check email, answer this, do this, right? And I thought that is more the structure that, like, I expected, I guess you could say. Anyway, that's not at all what it was, because I remembered no one's writing a to-do list for me, which, great, and rough at the same time. So that's kind of where I was going to, like, you go into work for corporate, you have a job that you got to do. You do it, you answer emails, you do this, you go to lunch, you go home, right? So no one has the to-do list for you. You have to not only have that willpower, but you have to, like, figure out what it is that you have to do. And I know that sounds so stupid, because you're like, well, duh. Like, yeah, that's part of running the business. But it's not that necessarily, and it's not necessarily the organization for me that really was the kicker. It was sitting down and being like, okay, I have 100 things I gotta do, whether it's film an Instagram reel, film a TikTok video, film a YouTube video, edit my writing, finish coming up with the concept for the Bayou Archive. Like, there's just so many things, right? And it's just like, yes, you can break it up and figure it out yourself of like what to do next and when and shift the priorities and stuff. But it's stuff that, like, I guess I wasn't expecting to have to figure out, things that, like, I didn't put in here, okay? I know that sounds dumb. That's something I didn't expect, and that's something that looked a lot different. And yes, everything is figure outable. We got it handled, okay? Everything's fine. But it was like a bigger adjustment for me than I thought it would have to be, if that makes sense. And that's the thing. That schedule humbled me. Once again, I know we're not doing that whole 9 to 5. That's the whole point of owning a business. You have the freedom to do what you want when you want, for the most part. Okay, for the most part. I have been working nights for so long, even before my bartending job at this last place, that I'm nocturnal at this point. Okay, for the first week, I know I've kind of touched bases on this before, but for the first week, I was like, heck yeah. My last day for my job was on a Tuesday, right? So I allowed myself to have kind of like that rest of the week. But starting on that Monday, I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to wake up at this time. I'm going to go for a run first. I'm going to do this. I'm going to eat breakfast. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to tackle my work day. Humbled. Did it for a couple days. Perfectly fine, right? First couple days, like, that sucked getting up, but like, it wasn't the biggest deal. I was excited, right? Day 3 came around. Waking up at that time and going for a run. I was sore. I didn't want to. I was tired. I was like, screw it. Skip the run, skip that part, check in at 11, right? I'm going to start my day at 11. Okay. I woke up at 11, made my coffee, procrastinated, woke up, then started closer to 12:30. You know, it was a day, a little bit at first. A little bit at first. I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't otherwise. And here's the thing. I am now, today's Monday, so going on week 4, okay? Love to say my sleep schedule's good. I am back on like that day shift life. No, I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night. Was I writing? No. Was I sitting there laying down in bed? Yeah. I'm needing to find other outlets to like kind of control and burn energy throughout the day. That was the whole point of going on the runs. And I've been slacking. It is now June 1st in Texas. It's hot outside. I don't care if it's 8 a.m. or 3 p.m. It's freaking hot out there, okay? It's gross. It's gross. I want to go on a run. I used to, like I said, love that and do that, but it's just not in the picture. It's not in my cards right now. Oops. Next is the emotional roller coaster. So, like I said, this is the start of week 4. I was very disheartened at first. When I left my job and I had nothing lined up, I was like, yes, this is my plan. I have seen how the last previous months have mapped out for my LLC and my business. And those things that had happened before I left my job felt like big momentum, right? So I was like, okay, I can do this. I can lead this. And it wasn't about the numbers. It was about the momentum and the needle being moved and the fact that people would talk about it. The name was out there. I felt like I was doing good. I was doing this, and this, right? So then I started with no backup plan, no solid income, no boss writing me a check, no nothing, right? I was humbled. Actually, humbled and disheartened because those things that I considered bigger momentum were less than the bare minimum for doing this full time and not having another income. And so I felt very disheartened. I was like, oh, when am I going to get another sale? Or when's this going to happen? When's this going to get pushed through? And I guess I didn't realize how much time would lapse when I had another job versus working on Bayou Bound Books almost every day on like the back end in between going into shifts. So like those deadlines weren't as important to me. The last week of this month really pulled through for me. The last week in May, I got a really nice size order. I got 3 of my journals sold on Amazon. 2 Get Out the Swamp journals and 1 Prompt to Grow. I'm sorry, 2 Prompt to Grow journals. Yes, because I had 2 and 2. Okay. So anyway, and then I got some orders. I released something called the Bayou Archive, and I feel like that's going to be a big shift for me, a good monumental shift for me. So the first of every month, I am going to be dropping a short story that's like Southern Gothic horror style, so more in line with what I want for Bayou Bound Books. I get it. The 2 journals that I have out right now are more mental health related, of course. And then Chasing 25 is going to be the same way. It's going to be mental health style related, like advice, big sister kind of book. And then I get to the genre that I really want to be in. The reason why those things are coming first is because there's things that mean a lot to me and things that I really want to get out in the world. Look, I know people are like, oh, I've been through a lot. This isn't about one-upping each other. This is none of that. I've been through some pretty traumatic and stressful things, especially for someone my age. And it's not about sharing the details and the exact experiences, but it's about sharing the lessons learned from those. Almost like a guidebook for people that like feel so alone. Something that you're going to read this, and as you're reading it, you're going to be like, I need to hear this, but you're probably still going to roll your eyes at it because you don't see the true value in it yet because you're still stuck in that position. More about Chasing 25 later. Anyway, those things are very important to me. I am a huge mental health advocate, and I really want to get those out before I get my other things published. that is why the Bayou Archive had been created. I felt kind of at a loss with my brand, not at a loss, but like kind of a confusion, because I was like, okay, well, I'm still doing this, I'm still editing this, I'm still writing this, I still have to publish this, before I get to this. And then I was like, hold up, you still enjoy this, right? Create something. Short story, all those ideas that you have in your head that I have not fleshed out into like big stories that I don't think would have the storyline or the plot to become something huge as far as a book and publishing and stuff like that. So I make them into short stories, stuff that I don't have enough like plot for to become like a full thing, like I said. So the first of every month, the one for June 1st is out, okay? So basically it is a Southern Gothic story or a horror story. It just depends on the month. It might be like a Southern Gothic horror poem style. Who knows? But I'll let you know before it comes out. So that way you get a little sneak peek, okay? Anyway, at the very bottom of that, it's an authentic Louisiana recipe attached. And it's not like a Googleable error. It's not one that you like typically look up on Google, on Pinterest, through AI and stuff like that. It is literally, I don't have it with me right now, but it is literally a cookbook that is a collection of a bunch of other people in Southwest Louisiana, probably closer to that Lake Charles, Mamou, Lafayette, Hackberry, Sulphur, like that area, that has been compiled into a book, like a cookbook that someone wrote. Right? So it's called The Melting Pot. A lot of my recipes are going to come from there. Or I have another one. It's called The Bell Something, right? They were passed down to me from my great-grandparents. And so they hold a lot of value to me, and I would love to share that. I just feel like a lot of things are kind of like lost as generations go on. And so why not put those out into the world, right? Why not hold that culture, I guess you could say. Anyway. Like I said, the Bayou Archive comes out the first of every month. It is going to come with a short story, most likely. A short story the whole time. That's kind of my plan, but who knows? I'll let you know if anything changes. So, one Southern Gothic horror short story with one recipe that is either linked into the story, like this month has, or kind of gives that vibe. Like something like spicy. Like a spicy Southern Gothic horror with a spicy Louisiana recipe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll give you some blurbs as we get closer to the first of every month. Anyway, it is available for purchase on my website at bayouboundbooks.com. It is $5 for every month. It is not a subscription. It is a one-time buy. It is going to come to you via digital download. So basically, you pay the $5. It downloads to your computer or your phone as a PDF. You can read it as many times as you want. You can make that recipe as many times as you want. And guess what? It's like 5, 6 like Microsoft Word pages, right? It's not super, super long, meaning screw it. Go make that peach cobbler recipe first. Put you a hot slice of peach cobbler, some ice cream on the side, and then read that short story. It's not going to take you that long to read it. Like I said, like 10, 15 minutes. In my opinion. Depends on how fast of a reader you are. Anyway, enjoy that peach cobbler while you read it. Delve into the story. It's supposed to be more of an experience style thing. Do I have some other big things coming for Bayou Bound Books? Yes. I have another video coming out, if you are curious, about the ROI on the QR code guerrilla marketing situation. It hasn't been enough time for me to really give you that. That's why I'm kind of waiting like 30, 60, 90 days. But small update is I think it's working. Okay. And in the least, I'm having fun with it. So more about that later. Chasing 25 is still under edits. It is going to be published most likely the first part of September of 2026. So in a couple months. I'm getting married in August. I am going on my honeymoon in August. And then when I get back, get the name changed. I will be publishing Chasing 25. I'm doing it like that because it's going to be a whole lot less of a headache if I do it that way. Just know it's going to be more simple. I don't need to do it under a pen name or anything like that. Sorry, small interruption there, but I'm back. So basically, I want to wait until after the wedding and stuff like that to publish. It just makes things easier, streamlines it and everything. And it'll also kind of give me that time to like rest and know that it's going to be done before the wedding and done before the honeymoon and all that, and just come back and take a breather, enjoy being here for like a week or two, and then push and get everything done that I need to do for publication for early September. After that, I do have some other things being released that are not quite ready to be talked about. Have I dropped little hints along the way? Yes. Am I going to go in more depth about that? No. If you want to know more about that, go check out my other videos. Go check out my Instagram reels, my TikToks, my YouTube shorts, whatever. And you'll kind of see little drops here and there. Anyway, have a great day. Thank you guys for sitting, enjoying, and yapping with me and listening to my update. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.